champagne, pop. It's my house, come on, turn it up. Hear a knock.
Good morning, Chattanooga. This is Real Estate Today with Cindi and Jody on Talk Radio 102.3, The Talk Monster. With your hosts, Cindy Richardson and Jody Gatlin with the Richardson Group, KW Cleveland, home of the Offers Instantly program. Get a guaranteed offer on your home in 24 hours at rg423.com. If you have questions about buying, selling, or investing, give us a call here at the studio. You can call or text at 267-1023. We're also live on the Richardson Group Facebook page, and if you have questions, we have answers. 267-1023 is the number to call or text. You can also find us online at rg423.com. We're not only here on Saturday morning, we're available 24/7, Sunday through Sunday. If you have a real estate question, you can give us a call at our office, 790-7979, and one of our realtors will be happy to help you with any of your real estate needs. Good morning, ladies. How are you today?
Hey, we're good. We can help you with real estate, but technology, not so much. So just ignore us. Cindy's trying to get where she can answer comments on the Facebook post.
Sorry about that. Sorry, Jack.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Hey, guys, how are you?
Good. How are y'all doing?
Good. I hadn't seen you guys in a couple weeks.
Yeah,
so
I know.
nice
We
to be
missed you
back.
last week.
Nice to be back. So what are we talking about today?
We are talking about in today's market, you're getting a whole lot of offers. So whether you are a buyer or a seller, what to do with your multiple offers.
So are you hearing that, Jack, Mr. Buyer's Agent?
We are, yes. We're not seeing a big turnoff. If you have a very good home in a very good price range, you are still seeing several offers. Probably not the ones where we're seeing 10 to 12 anymore, but we're still in a good market to see 6 or 8 multiple offers within the first several days that a home comes on the market.
I was going to say, how is that different from just a few months ago? And I think you hit the nail on the head. It's still ridiculously good, but we're not seeing that 5 offers in 2 hours necessarily anymore, which is not a bad thing, and we'll talk a little bit about that.
Right,
too.
and it really is price driven. So it just depends on the lower the price, the more offers that are going to come in.
Sounds good. So, I think this really, we've talked before about how our team is structured. So sitting here at the table, you have people that deal mainly with sellers and also an agent who deals mainly with buyers. So we're going to talk through kind of what that looks for both sides.
Well, I think we're going to start talking about how to get an offer accepted if you're a buyer, because I know it's very tough out there right now, especially for first-time home buyers. In that, again, it's price driven. So in that lower price range, it's really hard to get your offer accepted because that's the ones where you're most likely to be up against multiple offers.
I made an offer that didn't get accepted. So, I have been in this situation myself in this market. So, and sometimes there's nothing you can do about it, but our job is to help put you in a position where you've got the best chance.
And it's disappointing. I mean, it's you get your hopes up and you fall in love with a house, and it's very disappointing when you don't get one. And after somebody loses a few, it can get kind of disheartening.
So let's talk about I'm a buyer. I want this house. I love it. What are some things that I can do to help ensure I win?
I think before you get out there making offers, there's a few things that you have to do to get prepared to make offers. One of them, if you are competing with other homes, you are probably not going to get a seller to pay your closing cost, which has been very common throughout the years, but now less common. Especially when you're competing. So before you even get out there on the market, you probably do want to start saving money. And there are other ways to get the money too, other than just saving. But then you also want to go ahead and get qualified.
So when you say get qualified, I see these commercials all over TV about, these big national companies where they can get me approved in 2 seconds over the phone. Would you recommend that?
No, I think when you are a listing agent and you're sitting there and you're looking at a whole lot of offers, financing is very, very important. And you're going to look at who their lenders are. And you're going to see if it's somebody that's local that we're used to dealing with, that we know are going to be using local appraisers, local title companies, and we're not going to have to worry about who they're sending, then that's going to kind of give you a little bit of a leg up. So we do recommend you use local lenders that the listing agent can actually call and have a conversation with. And you can actually, there's a difference between getting pre-approved and pre-qualified.
Well, one of the things I was going to say about a local lender is for us, especially on the listing side of the transaction, it's so important when you're dealing with somebody local. So if I call a lender that we're used to dealing with, I speak directly to the lender. The underwriter is in-house in the same building. Why is that important?
Well, I had a listing that had multiple offers, and we went with a strong offer. The biggest disadvantage of the strong offer was that it was an internet-based lender. 2 days before closing, 2 days, they denied the loan based on something that should have been found from the beginning, absolutely from the beginning. So I would have preferred that we use a local lender so that I can give them a phone call and find out, because the people that we're used to dealing with, when they tell me that it's going to be done, I know it's going to be done. I know that it's going to be a strong buyer.
Well, and I think one of the biggest differences in that is the approval process. So I know everybody's heard, I'm pre-approved, I'm pre-approved, I'm pre-approved. A national lender is going to pre-approve you based on what you say, but they're not going to ask for documentation of those things. Right, Jack?
Right.
So I can say, yes, I make this much money a year. They're going to pull my credit to verify that I have a credit score that qualifies, but short of that, it's about it. And there's a lot of nuances that go along with financing, debt to income ratio, and what my monthly payments look like on other things, and what my reserve funds are, and do I have money to pay my closing costs? And you don't get that with a pre-approval. So why don't you tell us the difference between a pre-approval and a pre-qualification?
The pre-approval is exactly what you just said. They are basing your approval on the information that you have given the lender. So they are probably looking at your credit, and they are basing everything on what you have told them. A pre-qualification means that they have gone ahead and gotten into a little bit more. They've done a little bit more of a deep dive. They have looked at your documentation. They have already got your verification of employment. So that way, if your employment is part commission, or if a lot of your yearly income has been based on overtime, there's a lot more that the lender has to do so that you're not surprised with that as you get further into the loan. So if you are competing and you are pre-approved and the homes, the other buyers that you're competing with are pre-qualified, that is two very different things.
Go ahead and give your lender all of the documentation on the front end, even if they don't ask for it. Ask to go completely through the process and let them know that you want to be pre-qualified, not just pre-approved.
Yeah, and if you use one of our preferred lenders, they are going to give you a list of everything that you need the first time that you touch base with them.
And you guys heard from Angel at CMG last week. She is a preferred lender with us, and they do a good job of making sure that everything is pre-qualified. And that's a really good example of, I, as a listing agent, when I get an offer, if I get two offers and one person uses an internet-based company that they're pre-approved with, but then I also have a local lender that I'm used to dealing with that says they're pre-qualified, I can pretty much take that to the bank. No pun intended. But I can guarantee that short of something crazy, which, let me interject there just a moment, still don't go buy a car, don't get new furniture, don't finance anything, don't change your financial situation from the point that you're pre-qualified to closing. They are going to call and verify your income a couple days before closing, so don't do anything crazy. But that pre-qualification really helps you, and whether you use us or you use somebody else, make sure that whoever you use knows the difference between that, so that they can help sell it to the seller's agent.
And it's very important when your offer is presented that the letter actually says you are pre-qualified, not pre-approved, but pre-qualified. That way they know that that is a, much stronger offer than the pre-approved. So that's some easy things that you can do up front. Also, know what type of loan you're getting. So know your loan and know how much your closing costs are, so that, again, as you're making the offer, you know exactly what you're getting into.
And if you can put yourself in a situation where you have the ability to pay your own closing costs, huge. That's huge in today's market. And I understand that that's a lot of money. But even with 100% loan, that frees up some money that you could use to pay your closing costs. We all want our closing costs paid and to get into something with no money down, but that's a really strong leg up if you do have some funds saved.
Right. Because if you're offering $205,000, but the seller paying $5,000 of your closing cost, then that's really an offer of $200,000. It's not an offer of $205,000.
We're going to talk about that a little bit more, but really understanding what the walkaway is to the seller is important when you are making an offer, because I've heard that many times recently about full price offers that are not really full price.
Right.
And we'll get into that a little bit more, but, so I have done my legwork as far as financing and I've gotten that worked out. Is there anything that my lender can do to help me when it comes time to make the offer?
Yes. When your agent sends the offer over to the listing agent, your lender can reach out, your loan officer can reach out to that listing agent just to say, hey, I am working with this buyer and we have pre-qualified them. Everything looks wonderful. That way they can ease their mind and let them know that you are ready to buy. And then I assure you that a majority of the agents are not having the lenders reach out to the listing agent. So that also helps because not only are they hearing from you, but they are hearing from the lender.
And how huge is that as a listing agent?
That's very big.
Huge.
Very big.
If I have 4 offers and I've got someone has called and told me, listen, this buyer is legitimate, they're strong, there's nothing to worry about. Maybe even they have the potential to switch up loan types if it came to that. That's huge for me to take back to my sellers to give them some peace of mind.
And it also tells me that they're going to be easier to deal with, that they're actually going to answer their phone and communicate.
Good deal.
All right, that's a lot of good information. We're going to step away and take a quick break. When we come back on Real Estate Today with Cindi and Jody, we're going to get into some tips and tricks that you can write into an offer and things to kind of help position yourself to win that house that you really want to buy. We'll be right back on Real Estate Today with Cindi and Jody.
Chattanooga listens to us.
I do too.
Check in several times a day for the latest.
I listen in my car. I listen at work.
Don't miss a minute.
Talk Radio 102.3. WGOW FM.
Doctors Nathan and Rebecca Warren from Chattanooga Family Chiropractic have helped hundreds of people take back their health and live their life to their fullest potential. Here's what one of their patients had to say about his experience.
This is Jeff Alger. I just wanted to say thank you so much to Dr. Nathan Warren and Dr. Rebecca, and wanted to thank them so much for the wonderful care that I've received. I was in a severe head-on crash in 2016. Thanks so much to the care of Dr. Warren and his wife, I am able to function well and work out at the gym at least 5 days a week. My pain is minimal, and he has taught me so much over the past years, and I am so grateful for that. I appreciate you guys so much, and God bless.
Whether you had an accident like Jeff or suffer from regular wear and tear, Doctors Nathan and Rebecca Warren can help. Chattanooga Family Chiropractic, located near Hamilton Place next to the Home Depot. Call for your appointment today, 423-362-5360. That's 423-362-5360. And tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. for the healthiest 2 hours on the radio.
Hi, I'm Larry St. John with St. John's Heating and Air. A lot of companies do heating and air, but no company does it the way we do it. We believe in treating our customers the way we would like to be treated and always exceeding their expectations. We take pride in everything from our custom installations to tightening the last screw after a repair and backing it all with our 100% right or 100% free guarantee. Call St. John's Heating and Air at 855-4200. That's 855-4200.
Hear one of rock's most iconic albums in its entirety. The Black Jacket Symphony performs the Beatles' White Album Saturday, January 22nd.
You say you want a revolution.
One show only at the Tivoli Theater.
Back in the USSR.
Tickets are on sale now. The Black Jacket Symphony performs the Beatles' White Album song for song, note for note.
They say it's your birthday.
January 22nd at the Tivoli Theater. Get your tickets today.
Talk Radio 102.3.
Josie's on a vacation far away. Come around and talk it over. So
Welcome Welcome back to Real Estate Today with Cindi and Jody on Talk Radio 102.3. Hey, we would love to hear your real estate questions this morning. Call or text 267-1023. We're also live on the Richardson Group Facebook page this morning, and you're welcome to ask questions there. If you happen to have a real estate question you would like to discuss off the air, or you happen to think of it during the week, give us a call at our office, 790-7979, and a member of our team will be happy to help you with any of your real estate needs. Before we left, we kind of covered a little bit of dealing with getting your financing situated, down payment, determining what your closing costs are, setting your budget, things like that. Now, once we've got ourselves situated with a lender, what are going to be some of the things that we can do to really help position yourself? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, you are buying a home, but you are selling yourself to the person selling the home. And that's what your offer is. It's an opportunity for you to sell how good of a quality buyer you're going to be to that person. So what are some of the tips that we can give to everybody out there to help them make themselves the strongest offer out of the bunch?
I think one of the first things that you can do is, prior to making the offer, is to touch base with the listing agent and find out what is important to that seller.
I love that phone call. When another agent calls me and says, what can I do to make this offer stronger? Because
find out their time frame. I mean, do they want to
offer? The buyer is asking the seller to pay. And I actually just had an offer the other day where we had to call and make sure that the agent meant to say what they said, but it said the buyer to pay the closing cost up to blah, blah. Yeah. So the buyer was saying, I will cover your closing cost as well. So we'll pay for your moving truck and we'll cover your closing expenses. That's huge.
And if you're not able to pay for all of their closing costs, you can still pay for the title expenses. So just don't ask, you pay for your own mortgage and owner's policy instead of asking a seller to pay for it.
Yeah. And I mean, historically, sellers' closing costs are much less than buyers' closing costs. So that really is not a huge investment for you as the buyer, especially if you're already paying your own closing costs. You can bunch those together and get a little better deal sometimes. So, you're statistically looking less than $1,000, wouldn't you say? And for less than $1,000 and to pay somebody's moving truck, and then my gosh, if you could give them time to move out, you've said to the seller basically zero expense and very little inconvenience to you. Why wouldn't you take that offer?
Right.
I mean, you've just positioned yourself and said, listen, it's not going to cost you anything. It's going to be the easiest thing you've ever done. You've got an extra 30 days, take your time, and I'll pay all your expenses. Now, you might not be the highest offer, but my gosh, that's hard to say no to.
Convenience is worth money.
Yeah, that is hard to say no to for sure. So another thing that I think is really different in today's market versus historically is counter offers. How often are we seeing that?
Not often. And again, we are talking about homes as they come on the market. So if a home has been on the market for, a little bit of time, and when I say a little bit of time, I mean a couple of weeks, a month, you're probably not going to get in a multiple bid. You might, but, not as likely as one that just came on the market.
But it's frustrating to get an offer right out of the gate. I mean, we've listed this house, we've priced it aggressively, and there's some strategy, and we'll talk about that as far as pricing is concerned, but you can pretty much guarantee that if a house is priced aggressively, correctly, they're trying to solicit multiple offers, right? Okay? Because the listing agent is working to get the seller the best possible deal that they can. So don't make your offer expecting a counter. Right. I had an offer yesterday where the agent presented it and literally said to me, have them counter back when they sent it. Now, that might have worked 6 years ago, but not
You're
now.
sitting there with 5 offers and you have some really good offers. You're not going to counter back to one of the less desirable offers.
So I think that goes back to my advice when I worked with buyers was always make your best offer. Because at the end of the day, if you would be heartbroken because you lost a property over $2,000, offer an extra $2,000. Offer what you're comfortable paying. And if we work something better out, great. But you don't want to go to bed that night having lost it.
Right.
If somebody else
offer exactly what you're willing to pay.
Yeah, put your best foot forward.
If you would not pay $1 more for it and you feel like it is fine if that home got away, then that is exactly where you need to be.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
And if you lose it, you lose it and you feel good about it.
Right.
The house that I lost, that's why I lost it. I could have made a higher offer, but that's not where I was comfortable. So I went in with the best offer that I could make and said, this is what I can do. It was super clean, and somebody offered him more money.
And if you're bidding up over the asking price, think about going with a different number. So if you are offering $2,000 over the asking price, then odds are there's other people offering $2,000 off over the asking price. So you might want to do $2,500 or $2,600. Just make it kind of an odd number so that it might make a difference in what you're offering.
You know what it always makes me think of is The Price is Right.
Yeah,
$1.
$1.
Bob, $1. So, and you wouldn't believe the times that we get 3 and 4 offers that are exactly
absolutely.
the same.
Or within $100 of each other.
So anything that you can do, it sounds silly, it sounds trivial, but call me and say, do they care about the title company?
Right.
Do they want to drive to Chattanooga to closing? Depending on where the house is, it depends.
If they are making, if they are buying a home and they're closing the same day that they're selling a home, because if you're not using the same title company, then we're coordinating on the back end to make sure funds are hitting, and it could take a couple of hours. So it's title companies are very important.
And we absolutely can work around anything. So if we need to split a closing, not the end of the world. But if you're buying a house in Ottawa and you're selling a house in Ottawa, let's go to a title company in Ottawa because it makes your life easier. So anything. So if the offer is exactly the same, but you're using a local lender and you've called and asked me what's important to my seller and the other offer hasn't, guess who's winning?
And if you have other things in there, concessions, like if you're asking for a home warranty, that's going to be anywhere from $500 to $700 out of the seller's net proceeds. So do know that, again, that's not a full price offer. And when you're down to offers being within hundreds of dollars of each other, that could make or break whether you get the house.
All right, we're going to step away and take a quick break. When we come back on Real Estate Today with Cindi and Jody, we're going to cover some more tips and tricks to getting the home that you want, and also for sellers, what to look for in the offers you receive for your homes. This is Real Estate Today with Cindi and Jody.
We talk Chattanooga, live, local, and listening to you. 102.3 FM.
Secure your valuables this year with a Liberty safe from Randy's Pawn Shop. They have the best selection of Liberty gun safes. Liberty gun safes are the #1 selling safes, and they're made in the USA. Support small businesses where the best deals can be made. Service after the sale happens, plus 12 months same as cash. Shop local, buy from Randy, the safe guy, and a Liberty gun safe specialist at Randy's Pawn Shop in Trenton, Georgia. A half mile off I-59 on the left. We deliver what we sell.
Don Ledford Automotive, the fastest growing used car dealership in East Tennessee, has over 250 models, pre-owned trucks, late model cars, and all makes and hard to find cars like SUVs, sports cars, and more, offering you the highest trade-in allowances. If they don't have it, let them find it for you. Be part of the Don Ledford family at 4595 North Lee Highway in Cleveland, or check out their inventory online at donledford.com. Don Ledford Automotive, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC. Check out the dealer that always says yes.
That dinner was delicious. What's next?
I'm thinking just the check.
Do you frequently have gas, bloating, diarrhea, stomach pain, or loose oily stools after eating? One or more of these symptoms could be a sign of exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, and it may be time to talk to your doctor.
If you have EPI, Creon may be right for you. Creon, pancrelipase, is an oral prescription medication that treats EPI. Creon replaces enzymes you may be missing to help you break down food properly.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Do not chew capsules or contents, as this may cause mouth irritation. Tell your doctor if you have unusual or severe stomach pain, bloating, trouble passing stool, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, worsening of painful swollen joints, or allergic reactions. Other side effects may include changes in blood sugars, gas, dizziness, or sore throat and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Talk to your doctor about Creon, the #1 prescribed EPI treatment, and visit gocreon.com. That's GOCREON.com. Or call 1-800-633-9110.
Aches and pains can be debilitating and limit how you live your life. life. Doctors Nathan and Rebecca Warren of Chattanooga Family Chiropractic and the hosts of Wellness Radio, Saturdays at 10 a.m., are committed to helping you take back your health. Your body can heal itself. You need guidance, and that's what Doctors Warren offer every day with every patient. And for Talk Radio listeners, they offer special pricing for your initial consultation, physical examination, nervous system EMG, and any necessary imaging. Regularly priced at $120, your initial consultation is discounted to $49. That's right, just $49. Just mention Talk Radio 102.3 for the discount when making your appointment. Call Chattanooga Family Chiropractic today, 423-362-5360. That's 423-362-5360. Or find Doctors Warren online at drswarren.com. Chattanooga Family Chiropractic, located near Hamilton Place next to the Home Depot. Call today and invest in your health. And tune in to Wellness Radio, Saturday mornings at 10.
Talk Radio 102.3 FM, The Talk Monster.
Welcome back to Real Estate Today with Cindi and Jody on Talk Radio 102.3. Hey, we'd like to hear your real estate questions today. Call or text us here at the studio, 267-1023. We're also live on the Richardson Group Facebook page as much as we can be. And you're welcome to ask any questions you have there. If you happen to have a real estate question you'd like to discuss off the air, or if you think about it during the middle of the week, give us a call at our office, 790-7979, and one of our amazing realtors will be happy to help you with any of your real estate needs.
Jack, I'm so glad you're here. He's so much better at that than we are. So we appreciate you.
We are going over what buyers can do in an offer to get their offer accepted in today's market, because we know that multiple bids is something that all buyers are facing right now.
And while we were on the commercial, the Facebook Live, we were talking about Angel, one of our agents, is really good at presenting a really strong offer straight out of the gate. So as a seller, it's not uncommon to get a good offer straight out of the gate. And when you do, you got to decide, do you want to take that? Do you want to be in a multiple offer? And there's no law that says you got to get multiple offers. That doesn't always mean the best situation. I tend to tell people, you guys have talked about what works for you and what your walkaway is and what you feel good about. And if that gets you there, it might be worth taking it. How many times do you see people months down the road, and well, not months now, weeks down the road, and they regret it?
But if you're going to make an offer straight out the gate to keep somebody from going into multiple bid situation, it better be a very, very strong offer. Don't think that you're going to get your offer accepted with a bunch of concessions or anything, even if you were the first one. It's not necessarily the first one, it's still the best one. And keep in mind, if you're going over the asking price, that you have to be careful. If you're still asking for an appraisal contingency, then you are really just offering maximum appraised price.
And I have seen that.
Oh,
We've seen that just in the last
That's a lot of
month.
strategy that people use, is offering way over asking price, knowing that there's no way the home's going to appraise for that. Then they open up to renegotiate.
And let's talk about that in a contract. So for you guys that are buyers that are not familiar, you offer $250,000 and the house only appraises for $230,000. What are my options? And I'm getting a loan. So what happens?
Well, if you are contingent on the appraisal, then you ask the seller to take less. You begin to negotiate. If you cannot come to an agreement, then the contract's going to be terminated, and you're now out the money that you paid for the appraisal, the inspections, everything that you've got into it so far.
Is there a way for me as the buyer to say, I'll cover the difference, or
you absolutely can. So you would have to bring your down payment plus the additional $20,000 to closing. Or if you negotiate an appraisal gap up front, then you can say, okay, if it does not appraise, I'm willing to cover up to $10,000 over the appraised value, not to exceed the contract price.
And that's huge. That's huge, because if we've done our job on the listing side, they know, the seller knows this is kind of the window that we're in. I had an offer last week where we had an offer $10,000 over ask price in a multiple offer situation, and my people didn't take it because they had been educated on the front end and knew that the likelihood of it appraising for that was very slim to none. But if that 10,000 offer had said, we'll pay 5,000 over the appraised value, not to exceed this, they would have won. They would have won in that situation.
Right.
Now I have heard and I have seen where lenders will say, you don't have to have an appraisal. How does that work?
Actually, our preferred lender has a program that they will waive the appraisal. So there are things, certain criteria. It is a conventional loan with 20% down, but they are waiving the appraisals on a lot of them. So if they put their little formula into their system and it comes back that price is fine for that house, then they will waive the appraisal.
Huge, guys.
So, and then if you can make an offer without an appraisal contingency, that's very, very big.
Yeah. And you know, I still hear cash. At the end of the day, a closing is a closing and it spends the same as cash. So cash is powerful, and we're going to talk a little bit about that.
The reason cash is usually powerful is because they waive the appraisal contingency or some of the other things, because they have the ability to do that. So that's why often appraisal gaps or something like that.
You can put yourself in the same situation.
You can compete with those cash offers.
Exactly.
But if you're contingent on appraisal and everything else, then you're not competing with the cash offers.
Correct.
And then earnest money. You want to put enough earnest money down to show a seller that you're serious. So if you've got a $200,000 house and you're offering $500 earnest money, then it doesn't look real strong to a seller. That's not money. And all earnest money is, it's your money. It's coming back to you. It's just money that says good faith money showing that we have full intentions of buying the home. So you do want to make, good earnest money to show that you have full intentions. Another big one is your inspection contingencies.
Yeah, absolutely. So, everybody is busy. Inspectors, soil scientists, all of those. We're here to help you walk through that process. But one thing that I'm starting to see with offers now that's huge is when the offer is submitted, they've already scheduled a home inspection.
Yeah, that's big,
So,
especially because then you can shorten your inspection period, because an inspection period typically has a termination clause. So if you get in there and you do inspections and you have that termination clause, then you can terminate during the inspection period. So a seller doesn't want to lose a contract during that inspection period and have to go through all of this again. So if it's going to happen, they would rather it happen very quick. So a short inspection period is, that can give you an advantage too.
I think it's important to understand too that the inspection period is important or crucial to the seller, because essentially you're asking them to just take their house off the market for however many days when it's been really hot to decide if you're going to take it or not. So if you can go ahead and say, this is what I'm willing to do, and I'm going to do a really, really short inspection period, but then I'm also going to go ahead and schedule it. So it's scary to me as a listing agent when I see people say 4-day inspection period, because I know that the likelihood of them being able to get an inspection done and get the results back are pretty slim to none. But if you call me and say, I got an offer yesterday that submitted the offer and the inspection is scheduled for tomorrow, and we accepted, and my sellers know that they're going to have a decision by Tuesday.
Yeah. Okay, we have a question on Facebook.
Okay, so this question is coming from one of our Facebook Live listeners. In this market, do you see a lot of buyers offering an appraisal gap or paying the seller's closing costs?
I've only had one where they're paying any portion of the closing cost. It is normal to ask or have the buyer pay for the owner and lender policy, the title expenses, but not paying all of buyer's closing cost. Appraisal gaps, yes, we are seeing that. And they are capping it in the beginning. And even through all of them I've had, I think I've only had maybe 3 times where the appraisal gap has actually been where it's kicked in, where the house did not appraise. And you kind of have to fill that out for you and decide if it's important to you. Because if you're doing a $10,000 appraisal gap, yes, you're paying $10,000 above the appraised value, but appraisals change. I mean, it is based on the last sales in the area. And you have to decide, okay, how's that going to look down the road? Is that going to be okay? And if you don't buy it because of the appraisal and you continue to rent, how much are you going to spend on rent that could have went toward that appraisal gap?
Yeah, the second part of that question is, Are appraisals coming in higher these days due to the inflation in building materials?
No,
wish.
no, unfortunately not. Building materials are not really something that's considered. Appraisers are looking at closed sales. So they are trying to find, in a perfect world, they're finding 3 sales in the same subdivision that have closed over the last 6 months, and that is what drives the price.
Well, and it's the other thing too, that's where having local lenders is so important, especially in our area, because we're really in a tri-state area. It's very common for an agent out of Knoxville to come and make an offer with a lender that is from there or a national lender. There's nothing wrong with that, but their appraisers typically are from other areas. So you get an appraiser that's not familiar with the area, not familiar with neighborhoods. They use comps that don't make sense. So then we run into issues there too. So that kind of plays back into local lenders being important.
Right.
Good questions.
Okay, so now we covered part of the inspection contingency side. If you jump on YouTube and you're a buyer and you run and you look at how do I win offers in multiple, how do I win a house in a multiple offer situation? One of the things that pops up is writing a buyer's letter. What is your opinion on writing a letter from the buyers to the sellers?
I do not recommend doing that. It would be so easy to violate fair housing. And fair housing applies to everybody, not just realtors, but everybody. So I would be very careful about that, because if you violate fair housing, you can end up in a whole lot of trouble. And that can be even saying something as innocent as my kids or family or...
And here's the thing. We have to obey all lawful instructions. So we're going to do what you tell us to do. But the fact of the matter is we have to be really careful to be very subjective. So we don't want there to be anything about a situation that sways somebody one way or the other outside of what's outlined in the contract. Right. And I know that you hate to hear that as a buyer. And those letters, we're going to present them to a seller, but not necessarily before they see an offer. Because we have to be really, really careful about how we do that, because we want everybody to have an equal chance and an equal playing field.
I know at one time people were sending letters with pictures of their family and all kinds of things, and that just...
And at the end of the day, you don't need to win an offer because you have 2.5 children and a dog.
Right.
You need to win an offer because you made the strongest offer.
Right.
And nowadays we just have to be careful. So... we want to make sure that everybody is treated equally, that we treat everybody equally, and everybody gets the same opportunity.
Okay, we're going to step away and take another quick break, the last one of the day. So when we come back on Real Estate with Cindi and Jody, we're going to cover a little bit more about what you can do as a buyer, and we may get into what you can do as a seller to dive through all of your multiple offers you get when you're selling your home. This is Real Estate Today with Cindi and Jody on Talk Radio 102.3, The Talk Monster.
WGO calling out the fake news.
I don't think they're being honest with us.
Talk Radio 102.3 WGOW FM.
Plainview Outdoor Advertising is your locally owned and operated billboard company with more than 150 years of combined industry experience. Plainview's expert sales team helps advertisers make the most of their budget, and their full-time billboard technicians keep their billboards looking crisp and clear. Find out why billboards prompt 40% of their viewers to visit a business they see advertised. Plainview knows local because they are local. Call today at 423-622-4100 or visit plainviewoutdoor.com for more information.
RSW Chattanooga offers premium products for discerning customers. Update and elevate the look of your home with James Hardie Siding. New siding will add curb appeal, and James Hardie products stand the test of time. Don't wait until spring. Elevate your home now. Visit rswchattanooga.com today and save $1,000 on complete James Hardie Siding installation. Visit rswchattanooga.com.
Hear one of rock's most iconic albums in its entirety. The Black Jacket Symphony performs the Beatles' White Album Saturday, January 22nd.
You say you want a revolution.
One show only at the Tivoli Theater.
Back in the USSR.
Tickets are on sale now. The Black Jacket Symphony performs the Beatles' White Album song for song, note for note.
They say it's your birthday.
January 22nd at the Tivoli Theater. Get your tickets today.
Doctors Nathan and Rebecca Warren from Chattanooga Family Chiropractic have helped hundreds of people take back their health and live their life to their fullest potential. Here's what one of their patients had to say about his experience.
This is Jeff Alger. I just wanted to say thank you so much to Dr. Nathan Warren and Dr. Rebecca, and wanted to thank them so much for the wonderful care that I've received. I was in a severe head-on crash in 2016. Thanks so much to the care of Dr. Warren and his wife. I am able to function well and work out of the gym at least 5 days a week. My pain is minimal, and he has taught me so much over the past years, and I am so grateful for that. I appreciate you guys so much, and God bless.
Whether you had an accident like Jeff or suffer from regular wear and tear, Doctors Nathan and Rebecca Warren can help. Chattanooga Family Chiropractic, located near Hamilton Place next to the Home Depot. Call for your appointment today, 423-362-5360. That's 423-362-5360. And tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. for the healthiest 2 hours on the radio.
Hey, this is Quake. In life, there are two things you can't control, aging and accidents. And that's why Southeastern Spine, Brain, Joint in Chattanooga offers a full range of procedures to give you the most comprehensive medical care that you need. There are 3 doctors, Jay Jolly, David Wiles, and Matthew Bernard. Most episodes of neck and back pain are not serious, and fortunately, they can be treated quickly and simply. At Southeastern Spine, Brain, Joint, there are 2 convenient locations to serve you, downtown Chattanooga and the newest location in Ooltewah. They're board certified by the American Board of Orthopedic Surgery and valued members of the North American Spine Society. Catherine C. had to say about Dr. Jolly.
I love the staff and Dr. Jolly. They're all very caring and helpful.
Their physicians understand your symptoms. Weakness in your arms or legs, trouble walking and maintaining balance, the numbness and long-term symptoms that you have had to deal with. Southeastern Spine, Brain, Joint, downtown and in Ooltewah. 423-693-2175. Or their website, spinebrainjoint.com.
When it comes to all your plumbing needs, I trust Southeast Total Service to get your household back to normal fast. Their revolutionary blue light technology will fix problems from inside the pipes instead of digging up your yard or driveway, saving you a ton of money on repairs. So for all your residential and commercial plumbing needs, I'm talking drains, sewer, clogs, water heaters, and toilets, call 499-2911 or Google Southeast Total Service, everything plumbing.
Talk Radio 102.3.
Don't give up, it's a little complicated. All tied up, no more love.
Welcome back to Real Estate Today with Cindi and Jody on Talk Radio 102.3. We'd love to hear your real estate questions. Call or text us here at the studio, 267-1023. We're also live on the Richardson Group Facebook page, and you're welcome to ask questions there. If you happen to have a real estate question you'd like to discuss off the air, or if you think of it during the middle of the week, give us a call at our office, 790-7979. And a member of our amazing realtors will be happy to help you with any of your real estate needs.
We are struggling on Facebook Live, by the way. So we apologize that you've been watching us do charades during every commercial.
But see, I'm happy with the result, though. That's the thing, because it's kind of doing what I wanted it to do.
Yeah.
So that's.
Yeah. I had to make a phone call during last break to figure out what you could hear. So
I hope you've picked up a few tips on what you can do to get your offer accepted. We kind of talked long on what buyers need to do to get offers accepted. So we don't have a whole lot of time to go over what sellers things that you need to look for. But a lot of it is the same things that we're telling sellers to pay attention to, or buyers to pay attention to when you're making the offer.
Just how it pertains to a seller. And I think we did kind of touch on that, but things like using a local lender, what does that mean? It means we can get answers faster. We can talk to somebody. It means your appraiser is probably going to be somebody local that we're used to dealing with. What kind of loan are they getting? What kind of down payment? Are they strong? Have they been pre-approved versus pre-qualified?
The risk of the different types of loans, what those appraisers are going to look for, what kind of repairs might be necessary based on the type of loan, which appraisals are going to be your easiest appraisals versus which ones are going to be,
And we're going to go back to you with what we talked about when we talked about pricing strategy. What was the CMA or what was the market value of your home versus these offers? And that's huge. huge to remind people kind of what we talked about, because $10,000 over is not good unless you've got an appraisal gap or something like that. Waivers, our preferred lenders that can allow a buyer to not do that.
We actually keep a chart where we know out of all the homes we sell every year, which last year was 350, we keep track of which lenders are the easiest to work with, so that we know if it comes in from some internet lender, we can say, hey, we did so many of these last year, and here's the ones that did not close or we had a lot of difficulty getting communication with, because there's a whole lot of things that need to be happening in that contract to let us know that the buyer is on schedule to close on time.
And I think the moral of the story is as clean as you can make that offer. A full price offer with closing costs is not full price. An offer where you're asking my seller to pay a home warranty, to leave the refrigerator, all the appliances, the Ring doorbell, everything that goes along with it, that's not a clean offer. Do your people have a home to sell? How motivated are they?
That's big.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of ways, and you better believe that if your people have big contingencies like a home to sell, that offer better be so good on every other aspect that I can't say no to.
Right.
And that's huge. And what are they willing to pass up on? A home inspection. Can they say, hey, we'll only ask you for repairs if they're over a certain dollar amount?
Right.
Or we'll take it or leave it. That's huge.
Not going to ask for repairs, because especially in today's market, you don't want to sit and ask for things like them to tighten up a loose toilet or to straighten up an outlet.
Because guess what? I've probably got a backup offer.
Right.
So
right.
Who may have said, I'm not going to ask you for any repairs.
And that's big too. On the buyer side of it, if you don't win the offer, you really want to look at possibly becoming a backup offer, because in today's world, about 20% of contracts fall apart, which is a huge number compared to real estate in the past.
And if you've got a short inspection period, we're going to know within 7 days if it's back available again. So you're not really doing yourself a disservice. You can continue to look, and if you find another house, you just
withdraw your
say,
offer.
I don't want it anymore.
Right. So know that being a backup offer is not a bad thing.
Not at all. And I would say, like she said, 20% of the time,
you're going to get
yours.
that house.
But even as a backup offer, that doesn't mean, because we can pretty much guarantee it goes back on the market, it's going to have the same reaction. So don't submit a backup offer expecting a counter. You want to do the exact same thing.
Right.
Pay what you would be willing to pay for it, for sure.
Right.
So, and then I think big is just, be careful that your agent is working for you, because agents say too much. You don't want to. You don't want to put all your cards out there.
Absolutely. You do not want to say anything to that seller or to that seller's.
We sold our home and we're having to live in a hotel. What does that mean to you?
That means you're desperate because you have nowhere to go. You just said that you have no negotiating room. You don't realize when you're talking that you could be giving up some of your negotiating room.
Yeah, and that's literally one thing we say. Just stop talking.
Right.
Which is hard for a personality like me. When somebody says something, they say too much a lot of times.
Or if they know that you're living at your parents' house, so you're not paying rent and you're in no hurry to get out of there. So that tells me that, you might be able to negotiate a possession after closing.
And like Cindy said, we've talked a lot today, a lot of information that we feel really strongly about. We're going to have to go here shortly, and obviously there's a lot more that we'd like to cover. If you have any other questions, please call us, 423-790-79, and we'd love to help you.
Yeah, guys, it's been a blast. Hope you guys enjoyed the show today. We look forward to talking to you guys next week. This is Real Estate Today with Cindi and Jody. If you guys have any questions during the week, Jody's right, 790-7979. And if you are looking to sell your home the quickest and fastest way, check out our website, rg423.com, for offers instantly. Thanks. Y'all have a great week.
Thanks.